What's going on, guys? Welcome to Combat Corner. My name's Kobe.
I'm Jackson.
And today, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a UFC card to break down. Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis. A few other fights on that card. Yeah, number 2 it is. Some fight card announcements that have just happened very recently that we're going to talk about.
And the Arabias of Saudi.
The Arabias of Saud. Some drama, some this, some that. We've got a drink, Ribena, with lightly sparkledness to it. That's what it is. Carbonated blackcurrant fruit drink, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Let's get into the show. Take it away, intro man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Corner.
One. Oh, it was a bit premature there.
Right.
It was a bit out of sync, wasn't it?
All right, we'll figure it out. Jackson just taught me a cool little tip of opening a can. If you press your thumb down on this side, you can open that. It gives you more of a lip to put your finger under. So
Kobe was still lacking, though. He still needed 2 hands. I've mastered the technique, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, Ribena since 1938. Bit of a veteran in the game, you could say.
Yeah, it's been around for a while, this one. I'm surprised we haven't tried it earlier. It's been around that long.
Oh, that's lovely. That's yummy.
It's yummy. I used to have Ribena when I was a kid, but in the cordial form. We'd mix it in with some water.
Oh, I see. I do understand how cordial works, but thank you.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a Ribena phase myself a few years ago.
I'm glad. Glad for you.
When I was working in malls, I used to get a Ribena quite a lot with some sushi. I found sushi and Ribena is quite a nice combination.
It is.
That's for you guys at home. You could try that yourselves.
It's just one of those common little things that people do.
Is it?
Do
a lot of people do that.
Everyone does that. It's big in
Everyone
Japan.
does that.
It's big in Japan, I think.
Well, I haven't been to Japan.
Well, it's big in Japan. Japanese viewers, let us know if you guys enjoy Ribena with sushi. With
Do we
your
have
sushi.
any Japanese viewers?
We could do.
I don't think we do.
I'll check later.
I'm going to check right now. Just while you're going to talk about something else.
So
I'm going to check.
I'm going to give a weather report this time.
Okay.
So the weather has been god awful for the past. Well, it's not been too bad. It's been pretty cold. We've recently went into our autumn months. About a month ago now, we started autumn.
We have
and
none.
it's we have 0 from Japan.
0%.
Damn, I know a couple Japanese guys that will get to start watching us, see what they think.
Well, I was meeting people like in Japan.
Right. Okay.
There's none of those.
No one from Japan watches
Anyway,
the
you
show.
were talking
That's kind
about
of
the weather.
racist on them. Yeah, it's been really cold. It's been really cold. Today's really cold.
No, it's not.
It's pretty cold.
I'm in a t-shirt.
Well, it is cold today.
What is it out there? What do you think it is?
Probably like
temperature-wise.
15 max.
15 max.
So it's not freezing, but it's cold.
Oh, it's 15. Exactly out there. That's not cold at all. If it's
you say
under
so.
11 degrees here, I'll put a jersey on. That's
Right.
my rule.
If you say so, mate.
Or if there's like a chilly wind.
I didn't realize you were so tough.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't
pretty
realize you were
tough.
so tough and crazy.
I'm a strong
Crazy
guy.
man. I want to get into the UFC fight card that we have coming up this weekend.
Why is that?
Because it's a good one. Well, it's not. It's another shit one. This weekend isn't that bad. No, sorry. This weekend is shocking. We're just on the wait for 300 at this point, really, and I think that's it. We can close the show off now. Thank you guys for watching. Brendan Allen is fighting Chris Curtis in a rematch. A rematch which of the first fight Curtis took by knockout.
Second round.
In the second round, which, I mean, if you get finished by Chris Curtis, it's not that cool for you. Brendan Allen is kind of on a surge at the moment.
This was 2.5 years ago, though. And this guy,
men.
This guy is 28 years old. He's kind of one of those guys that has developed in front of our eyes instead of coming into the sport as
you're absolutely right.
Instead of coming into the sport as an all-round fighter with a lot of polished skills. But since that loss to Chris Curtis, he's unbeaten.
Yeah, he's won 6 in a row. Some pretty decent opponents in there as well, and a lot of submissions. 5 out of the 6 coming by submission.
Yep.
Quite impressive.
It's a pretty high finish rate.
Very. One decision in there. So, beating the likes of Bruno Silva, Paul Craig, he's a bit of a hit or miss type of guy.
Yeah.
Andre Muniz, top guys in this division. Obviously, Smiling Sam, that's rest in peace him. But he's doing all right, but he hasn't really faced the top echelon of the division yet.
Well,
is Chris Curtis the top echelon even?
No, he's bordering on it. I mean, he's had a couple of good performances recently. Before that, Brendan Allen also fought the likes of Sean Strickland, and who else did he have a win against that I was talking about?
Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland. So, there are some pretty...
Earlier on.
Yeah, some pretty decent names in there.
He's a very active fighter. He's fighting a lot. So, good on him for that.
Lost to Anthony Hernandez. So
back in the LFA, Eric Anders, but he was very young back then, early 20s. Trevin Giles. But again, like you say, he's developed a lot recently, and we've really seen him kind of come into his own. So getting a win over Kevin Holland back when you were only 23 is pretty impressive for this kind of guy.
Big time.
And, and then the only losses since that win streak that he had being Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis, two guys who are tough. Sean Strickland obviously went on to win the belt. Chris Curtis, very good on his day. Powerful puncher. Great takedown defense. It's going to be interesting. There we have it with the first ream off of our favorite word.
Your favorite word.
You say it too.
Okay.
Well, you hate the word. I like it.
Yeah.
You just know that we say it too much.
That's right.
It's interesting.
Look, Chris Curtis, we've been talking about... Sorry?
You said, look, Chris Curtis.
I said, look, Chris Curtis.
Oh, all right. I thought he was here.
Can we bring his record up? Look,
sure, we can do that.
He's on a little bit of a tear at the moment, but he is one of those guys who goes back and forward. Well, not really.
He's on a tear. He's on an absolute
Well, no,
tear.
that last fight that he had was not too bad. It kind of put him in a decent position. It was on a pay-per-view, which, we don't see very much from him.
What from Chris?
Well,
last 4 fights.
On a big paper. Well, are they on the main card?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you could be right.
I'm probably not. I'm just talking shit.
He was getting beat pretty bad in that fight. Then obviously they clashed heads and that got stopped early, but he was losing that fight.
Yep.
Marc-Andre Barriou, all right fighter, but scrappy, couldn't make it take it into his realm.
Look, he beat Phil Hawes.
Yeah. He hasn't been fighting anywhere near as much as we've booked him.
No.
So he must have been pulling out all these fights.
That's the thing though. Yeah, maybe that's where I'm getting stitched up in my own head is there's a lot of good matchups for Chris Curtis at middleweight at the moment, but he doesn't fight that much.
No, he doesn't. Well, he fought in Jan. He's fought this year before, and now he's stepping in on semi-last minute notice to replace the Orc. And it puts him in a really good spot actually. If he can beat Brendan Allen, who knows what's next for Chrissy. I just want to see some consistency from him. I want to see him get 3, 4, 5 wins in a row.
Yeah.
Not lose when he gets these top opponents like that Jack Hermansson fight, right? He should have won that fight. Jack Hermansson's a very one-dimensional striker, and he pieced him up on the feet. Chris is a good boxer. If he cut him off, and he cut off the cage for Jack, who was just kind of circling and circling, didn't go for many takedowns. Obviously, Chris Curtis has great takedown defense. If he could have cut the cage off and just countered him on the side that he was moving towards, he could have finished Jack for sure. We've seen him get finished before, but he just let Jack run away with that fight. Back at
He's quite a good point fighter, Jack Hermansson. I'll give him that.
He is. He does have a good jab, but Chris should be able to take that over. Much more athletic, much more, just better on the feet at boxing.
It's quite a good personality as well for the sport, Chris Curtis.
Chrissy C, yeah. I think he thinks that he's Sean Strickland, basically. Because Sean won the belt, I think he kind of thinks he won the belt.
Well, yeah, it would be quite an inspirational thing for a gym like that to go through the surge that they have had recently. And yeah, having one of those guys that you've come up with win the belt and you've been there the whole way, it would
feel nice.
Yeah, it would light a fire under you. How do you think he goes against Brendan Allen?
I think he loses. I think the logical decision would be a decision by Brendan Allen or a submission. Probably not in the first or second, maybe in the third round. Don't see Brendan Allen getting finished this time, although Chris has obviously done it before, so he can do it again. I just think he's improved so much since then. And has Chris improved that much since then?
I agree. And yeah, I also agree on Chris Curtis. He every time he gets to this point, he kind of falls short. Whether it be, like that fight you're talking about, Jack Hermansson, whether it be Kelvin Gastelum. And I feel like he's in another one of those positions now where Brendan has gotten into a fairly decent ranked position. What is he ranked? 8th or something?
Should we pull the rankings up just to see?
Yeah.
The rankings.
The rankings. But yeah, I know for a fact he's quite a bit higher than Chris Curtis.
He's ranked at number 6.
Okay. So even higher than what I thought. Chris Curtis down there at number 14.
I just don't know why he's ranked at number 6 though, for now, right? Like, he literally beat Paul Craig in his last fight. He hasn't beaten any of those guys from Paul Craig to where he is. Why is he ranked?
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Like, just pulling it back to Brendan Allen, like Bruno Silva, Paul Craig. Bruno Silva's not even in the rankings. Paul Craig is set at number 13. I don't really understand.
Maybe it's the impressive fashion that he beat.
Could be,
Paul
yeah.
Craig in, but I mean, other than what has Imamov hasn't exactly had an impressive win as of late. That fight against Delidze was a bit of a bore.
I believe he took Delidze's spot though in the rankings when he won. Delidze was 8, but then why was Delidze 8? Oh, he beat Hermansson.
It's
a
not
bit of a
even
mess.
worth. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I think he is one of those guys that they are trying to push
For sure.
which is
He's
why
young.
he was originally booked against Vittori.
I wish we could have got to see that fight.
Yeah,
Slightly more interested in that fight than I am the Chris Curtis one, just because I just don't think Chris has it in the tank. I reckon Chris is going to go out there and look for a round 1 finish, though. We don't know how fit he is. Could he be coming off the couch, kind of,
it's like Vittori got injured a while ago. I think this fight has been in the works for
about 2 weeks. A
Was
week,
it only
2
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Huh.
He replaced him.
Okay.
You remember we were talking about Vittori was talking shit about Adesanya?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was only a couple of weeks ago. It felt so long ago.
It's
Well, actually, with the timelines, it's probably 3 weeks ago.
could be, yeah. Don't tell them about that.
Okay.
Enjoying my Ribena over here. I'm
Either
going to
way.
go decision Chris Curtis. Decision
Whoa.
fucking Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I think
Brenny
Allen.
B.
It's a 5-round fight, isn't it?
It is.
I think we'll see a 4th round submission by Brendan Allen.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Fair play. I rate that.
Yep. Thanks, mate.
So,
What else have we got on the card?
all right. Up next, we have...
You should probably, yeah.
I forgot that I didn't have it on the screen.
Yeah, no, you're just
Up
looking
next.
into the abyss.
Alexander Hernandez versus Damon Jackson. This card is shocking.
Yeah, it's trash. Who are these guys?
This is worse than the Rose Nama
You reckon?
Yunez one, I think. Let's just quickly compare that. Because the Rose one, yeah, no. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
this
it
is
is.
worse. Because it had Edmund was good. The
Peyton
Cameron
Talbot
Simon
was
fight
good.
was good. I thought the tougher Carl Williams fight was going to be pretty exciting. We got to see Zalal. It ended up being pretty good. This one is shit.
But
look,
it has the potential to do the same thing. But I just don't think there aren't the rising stars that we had on that card that you're talking about.
it's not as deep,
No.
even though that one wasn't deep. Like, I mean, Alexander Hernandez, always exciting.
I'd almost
Damon
just rather
Jackson?
not have a fight night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because then we wouldn't have to review it. We wouldn't have to painstakingly
Well,
trail through it.
That and also, they're just shoveling shit at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually heard something about that. I'll talk about that later after.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about getting
down,
into it
but-
now. Let's talk about Damon Jackson.
Damon Jackson up against Alexander Hernandez. So we've got a guy coming off a 2-fight skid, coming up against a still young, hungry Alexander Hernandez, who's been up and down as of late.
The Great Ape.
The Great Ape, another guy that they want to push, but they just can't seem to get it right since he lost to Cowboy back in the day.
Also lost to Drew Dober.
he's one of those guys who had that story of super cocky and confident coming into a fight. Then he got knocked out.
Yeah,
Bad.
I've seen that
Yeah.
little compilation.
But like the guy's finished Beneil Dariush by a KO in the first round. Like what? Benny was like coming for a title shot at one point.
And now he's in featherweight.
Benny.
No, this guy.
Oh, is this featherweight?
I'm pretty sure it's at featherweight, yeah.
Yeah, well there you go. Maybe I think this is his first fight at featherweight. He's beaten Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Like very up and down, this guy. And
And now
maybe
he's
at
cutting
featherweight.
more weight.
Yeah, cutting more weight. He was already very like vascular and lean. So it's going to be interesting to see how he is at featherweight. But again, only 31. He has the potential to do great things. We need to see him beat Damon, Matt Damon, I think his name is. And then we need to see another 2 or 3 wins. And he could be getting up towards the top 5. But we need to see a lot more from Alexander Hernandez. But, you know, Damon Jackson, what's he really done in the sport? He had a 4-fight winning streak going for him. Now he's lost 2 in a row. Danny Gay knocked the lights
He
out.
got knocked out in the first round by Ilya.
Ilya Topuria. Like,
So this guy is a
It's just
bona
the
fide
co-main.
featherweight. He's been
basically.
around for a wee while there. So that is the only thing in my opinion that could work into his favor, apart from having, you know, a bit more experience on his side. He does like to get knocked out by the looks of it.
I've just noticed his last name.
That's my first name.
Yeah.
Wow.
He loves to
That's
get knocked out, this
crazy.
guy. He absolutely loves it.
fucking
He lives for it.
Oh yeah, just go in there. I love
I
to
just
get a
wanna
bit of a
get knocked
1-2
out.
on the chin, and next thing I know, I'm looking up
Waking
at the
up
lights.
2
Oh, it gets me so good
No,
every
usually
time.
not. Submissions, though. He has got 15 submissions of his own. He doesn't like to get submitted, apparently.
He likes submitting though.
He likes submitting. No, he doesn't like submitting. He does like submitting, does he?
He likes submitting.
Oh, does he now? Namesake. 4 KOs, 15 submissions, 3
Yeah.
decisions, 1 draw, 1 no contest. 35 years old. I think we're going to see the Great Ape get a stoppage in this fight in the first round.
Damon
First round knockout.
Action Jackson.
As we said, he does like to get knocked out. He does enjoy being finished.
the Great Ape.
The Great Ape.
What is that name?
It's a cool name.
Is it?
What's wrong with his name?
I don't know. Like Action Jackson has a bit of a flow to
You
it.
just like it because
Alexander the Great Ape Hernandez.
I'm gonna go out there on a whim here, right? I think Alexander Hernandez is gonna miss weight. He's gonna win by knockout in the first round and gonna get booed, and people are gonna be like, "Fuck this guy," but he will have got the win.
Okay. And then he'll
What
probably
do you
go
think's
back to
gonna happen?
lightweight
Action
and then
man?
just get muzzled again.
Probably.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
do I think is going to happen? Yeah, I think Hernandez is going to get the win here, but it's hard.
Is it hard?
No, it's not hard. But looking at this fight is because who the fuck is Damon Jackson? It's a co-main event.
I know, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You guys know us. We're the casual people podcast, right? We're here for your entertainment. We don't promise to be the smartest and most well-researched people in the world. Damon Jackson versus Alexander Hernandez is the co-main event of a fucking fight night. Dana White, you idiot. Fuck you. Fuck you. I for one am sick of it.
What do we got
Moving
next?
on, we've got Morgan. This should be the fucking prelims of a fight night.
Shippey.
Do they even have prelims?
Yeah, man.
How are the prelims looking?
Probably pretty stacked.
Court McGee versus Alex Morono. That's all right. Oh my god, Norman Dumont versus Jermaine Durandamate is on the prelims. What is up with this shit? What are the UFC doing nowadays?
I
Like,
don't
do they
know.
even make fights, or they just have AI?
What
do
I
it for
think,
them?
no, I think what they've got is one of those, those like lottery spinner things, and they just like spin them around, and then a thing comes out with a person's name on it, and then it just fills into a spot that's already sitting.
And they're
there.
like, "Will this work?" Yeah, fuck it,
Yeah,
fuck it.
the fight nights are literally just like they're pushing content out there.
It is. It's like us spamming content onto people for cheeky views.
Yeah.
Morgan Shariri versus Shepe Mariscal. I know Mariscal. I've seen him fight before. Morgan, I'm gonna have to remind myself what his whole thing is. Oi,
What?
what was that little hand signal you did?
I just itched my nose
Oh right.
and then I put it back down onto my other hand.
Oh right, fair
It
enough.
was quite a move, really.
Pretty good, mate. Well done.
Morgan, what'd you call him?
Morgan Shariri, the last pirate.
Maybe Sherrier.
Sharrier. He is on a 4-fight win streak. Just moved over from Cage Warriors. Has had one fight in the UFC on a fight night I didn't actually get to watch, so I've never watched this guy fight before. But looking at him, you know, he's got 11 knockouts, 3 submissions, 5 decisions. He's never been knocked out.
Been submitted once.
Submitted once, you're right there.
And
That's
lost
correct,
8
mate.
decisions.
8 decisions.
So I think if this guy wants to get it done, it obviously needs to,
Knockout.
which is exciting.
It is. Machine Gun Kelly here.
What?
Yeah, machine gun.
Shepe machine gun.
Shepe / machine gun.
Mariscal.
5 decisions, 3 submissions, 7 knockouts on his record. He's been knocked out thrice, decisioned thrice. I think we could see him get finished this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think.
How long's this guy been around for? And yeah, so both
Two-fight
guys
win
just coming over from other organizations
places.
not too long ago.
I think this is going to be a good fight, but I think we're going to see Morgan get a finish in the second round by knockout.
Yeah, this is one of those fights like it doesn't belong on a main event anywhere.
No.
Unless you're really
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
yeah, but like this has the makings of a good fight. Do you know what I mean? Like both of these guys have something to prove. They're both new to the organization. They both love a good scrap by the looks of their records.
Yeah.
So this might be the one to watch.
Could be a one to watch. I agree with you there, actually. do.
But either way, yeah, like we're talking about, we shouldn't have to be like, who is third fight down, and we're already like,
And then moving on to the next one doesn't get any better. Ignacio Bahamondes. I actually do know this guy. He's fighting Christos Gaios. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fight.
Oh my
Got it.
god. Can we talk about something else?
I do want to give my pick for this one. I think
Do a cooking
Bahamondes
podcast from now on or
is going
something.
to win. We can move on. Honestly,
Do
we can move on.
Dude,
This fight night is
cooking.
shit. I'm
Should we
sick
start?
of fucking breaking.
What are
this
other
shit.
ideas we could talk about, Kobe? What else are we
Um,
interested in?
You like race cars because
Is
they're
this-
slightly autistic.
This is kind of shit the bed lately.
It has.
Um,
Well, people still enjoy it. Jack likes it.
That's good. We have one
As long as Jack likes it,
good viewer
he's our main fan.
who's loving it. Thanks,
In all
Jack.
honesty, though, I think
We do this for
Bahamondes
you,
will get
Jack.
it done by decision. It's Bahamondes looking to surge a little bit there. Volta Walker versus Breski. Man, this fight card is shocking.
Right.
Why do you think it's so bad? Like, what do you think the issue is here?
We've got things like UFC 300, UFC 301, which has quite a few names on it as well. We had 299, which was completely stacked. So, I mean, those 3 pay-per-views having so many big names on them,
Yeah,
I think has really pulled the draw out of all of these fight nights. And now they're having to fill them up with all sorts of other people who would normally make up the prelims.
I agree with you. There's been a lot of big cards recently. It's not been as evenly distributed between them all.
No.
And maybe they're like, right, we've got our big stars all out there on the big cards. Let's try and build up some names. Let's try and build up some people. In all honesty, I don't want to break the rest of this card down.
No, I'm not going to.
I did want to bring up the fact that on the preliminary card, we have Court McGee versus Alex Morono. That's one to watch, the feature prelim. We'll just pull these guys off.
Who's 39?
Morono.
No, McGee.
Court McGee. So Court McGee, he's been around the block a few times.
Goodness.
He's been doing bits in the UFC for a very long time.
Sport everyone, man.
Beat Robert Whittaker.
Lost to Sean Strickland. What? He beat Robert Whittaker?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, in 2013.
Yeah, he's been around the block, mate.
Okay.
He beat
No one else of note.
no one else. So not looking good for him. He's a bit old.
He's coming off two
He just wants to get that Whittaker
Knockouts.
fight back. Alex Morono.
knockout losses, I should say.
Alex Morono had some pretty a very impressive win against Cowboy Cerrone. He won 3 in a
What?
row after that. Huh?
What the hell? At
What?
what weight class? Welterweight.
Yeah.
And now he's at middleweight?
Is he at middleweight now?
Oh, no. Oh, I see. So this other guy fought Robert Whittaker when he was a welterweight
Yeah, yeah.
and Sean Strickland when he was
When
a
he was a
welterweight, I
welterweight.
guess.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Welterweight. This guy's beaten, Donald Cerrone, Mickey Gall. Fell short against Ponzinibbio back in 2022. Beat Tim Means. Look, I think we're going to see Moreno get this done in the first round. Morono in the first round. I think there's a high chance of that if you wanted to put your money on anything. And then Norma Dumont versus Jermaine Durandame, 39 nowadays. You know, it's
The Iron Lady.
the Iron Lady. She was a previous title holder. I'm just saying, we've got a guy who beat Robert Whittaker against a guy who beat Cowboy,
Mm-hmm.
and a previous title holder in Jermaine Durandame
On the prelims.
on the prelims against Norma Dumont, who's like a coming up fighter who potentially could get a title shot soon.
She's beat Raquel Pennington, who is the current
Yeah.
title holder.
Juliana Pena, who is.
Oh,
who
wow.
has
That was 4 years ago, though.
yeah, so she's on a comeback, and she's 39 now.
Goodness.
Norma Dumont, again, on a 3-fight win streak. Why are these guys on the... this card does not make any sense.
No.
Look, I want to move on, and I want to talk about something pretty cool. UFC...
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that, mate. Let's just pull up a little bit of a thing here.
Now, this is the next decent-looking fight night, isn't it?
Where's the rest of them?
Well, that's it so far, isn't it?
No.
No? Why don't you just go back onto the UFC thing and skip ahead to Saudi Arabia?
Because
You know what I'm
the
saying?
Google thing, you mean?
Yeah. The Google breakdown that we always go off. Also, one thing that everyone's been talking about is Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje cancelled? No.
No, it's not.
It comes up as cancelled on Google because it was once the main event of that card. Just the same way that Brendan Allen and Vittoria is still
'cause
sitting
Google's
there as
changed.
Is it cancelled? You're looking for a headline. Fuck off.
Mm.
What is that
And
about?
it's like, bro, yes, it says cancelled there, but it's there at the top.
It's also
So
there
like-
and it's not cancelled.
yeah, idiots. Fucking retards.
It's like saying if that fight was cancelled, say, right?
I think we
is
know
the
about
fight still on? Because it
Yeah.
says it's
It's ridiculous. What I did want to say, I wonder if we could.
What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
There's 5 fights that were announced. We got Chimaev versus Whittaker. We've
Banger.
got Volkov versus Pavlovich as
Banger.
the co-main. We've got
What else have we got, Kobe?
Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez.
Not
we
bad.
have the Pirate, the Pirate versus Pretoria,
Who's the pirate?
the guy with one eye.
I didn't know about that. What, Bisping's coming back?
Yeah. It doesn't say it. Johnny Walker's fighting Volkan Ozdemir.
That's
Right.
right.
Comeback. And Ihor Peteria versus Shaha Magomedov, the guy with one eye, the pirate guy.
I didn't know he has one eye.
debated. Yeah.
He's looking good though. Isn't he
And
pretty new
debated.
to the organization?
Yeah, he
Pretty
is.
new. Yeah.
He's pretty new to the org.
And he was
that-
doing
That'll be very interesting.
bits before he got to the UFC.
He was. He beat up some guy for kissing his missus in public as well.
Fair enough.
Because apparently that's against his religion.
I'd do that if I had a missus.
Yeah, what? Beat her up in public?
No,
'Cause she
that's
kissed
not
him.
what happened.
That's what he just said. So Jackson would beat up his missus in public if she kissed him. So he's taking applicants. The main event of this. Do you know what? Do you know what happened here? By the way,
What?
the fight what the fight that was supposed to happen as the main event of this fight night was Makayev versus Perez, which has happened recently on a fight night card.
Right.
That was meant to headline the fight night in Saudi Arabia. I think they got pissed off about it. I just heard someone else talking about this, the MMA guru, and he was like, "Yeah, that's where I get all my news nowadays."
Nice.
So they were like, "Look, we've had fucking Tyson Fury and Ngannou, we've had Joshua and Ngannou, we've had this. You're not giving us fucking Makayev versus Perez.
Mm.
Give us a good fight night, or you're not coming here." And
Fair
then
enough.
they pushed the card back that was planned, or they changed it, and now they've
No,
got
it's
this.
on this weekend. Just a shit fight night on this. Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Makes a lot of sense. But this has the makings of a pay-per-view event, really.
Honestly, yeah.
With this like it doesn't have a title fight,
Got cum shot.
but there's a lot of implications
A lot of implications on cum shot on
for the
Robert
number one
Whittaker.
contender.
Yeah, this is going to finally decide the number one contender at middleweight. I do think Izzy's going to fight DDP first, though,
Yeah,
for sure, because DDP needs an opponent for like 203, 204,
303, 304,
303, 304.
Yeah.
DDP needs an opponent,
I think we'll see him fighting September, October, sometime around there.
and then these guys will fight the winner for sure. What happens to Sean Strickland then?
I really wanted to see Sean Strickland versus Whittaker.
So did I. So we might see Sean against Cannonier again.
What I think we'll see is Sean versus whoever loses out of Izzy and DDP. Sure, it will be a rematch. I mean, but I don't want to see him fight Cannonier again.
Neither. The only reason that would be interesting, I mean, he's the biggest star at
I
middleweight.
think Sean
at the
would
moment.
fuck him up now. I think he has evolved a lot since then.
So do I.
Um,
And Kennedy is not getting any younger. I think he's like 39, 40 now.
Mm.
So, it would be an interesting fight. But again, Sean Strickland is probably the biggest star, top 3 stars in the UFC right now. Probably the biggest star at middleweight. There he is. It's got stars on it.
It does.
I'd say he's probably now a bigger star than Israel Adesanya. I'd say, or maybe they're close. Izzy's kind of lost a bit of steam recently,
Yeah.
losing the belt a couple times. I don't know why they haven't just given him an immediate rematch. He's a star. Izzy got an immediate rematch twice.
Yeah, but
If he
Izzy
gets this
also
movie.
had one of the longest title reigns ever.
That's true.
And
That's true.
Sean couldn't defend it once.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even though
Don't
it was,
shit on the guy.
I'm not shitting on him.
I thought he
I'm
was your favorite
just
fighter.
he is, but I'm answering your question.
Just saying.
Why he didn't get an immediate rematch.
Oh,
I think the fact that he hasn't been booked yet is a real questionable kind of move.
yeah.
The other thing I think is the
It is.
UFC really didn't want him to be a champ in the first place. And it is quite hard to market someone like that who is talking all that shit.
It
You
is.
know what I mean?
I do. I know exactly.
Like
what
when
you're
they've
trying
got
to say.
a new sponsor in Bud Light coming in and then
Yeah.
he's just shitting all over them. That's not great marketing.
No, it's not. I mean, the guy's popular, but he isn't very good marketing for big brands that they want to partner with, and he causes a lot of issues and a lot of headaches for the UFC, even though they don't really care
No.
that much. It
Well,
is
they
a
say
headache.
they don't, but there is someone there
Dana
who
doesn't
is
care.
like,
Yeah. Dana doesn't care.
screaming.
Dana's the one that doesn't care. It's the other people behind Dana that are like, come on, man, like, fucking hell. That's why I worry when Dana leaves. Like, will that also leave with him?
Mm.
Anyway, Strickland versus Robert Whittaker, early prediction. What do you think's going to happen here, buddy?
God. This is Hamzat's first actual middleweight opponent, isn't it?
It
He
is.
fought Kamaru Usman on late notice when he was supposed to fight Paulo Costa. This has the real makings of a bit of a barnstormer. Shemaev is one of those guys who does go in there and doesn't really plan too much ahead. You can see the emotion kind of takes over and the rest of it, but I think that fight against Usman, it slightly changed, I guess. Still gassed out in the third round a little bit.
Even the second, kind of, he was, a lot slower.
I think we need to see him go in there and take his time with it a bit more.
Yeah.
What was Rob Whittaker's last fight?
Costa, he beat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was too. He has shown that he does still have a chin. I mean, he got wobbled
absolutely.
there,
He got
like
wobbled
very
hard.
badly, but that wheel kick would have put 90% of fighters out on their ass.
You're right. Would've.
So look, I
He's
think
still got the chin for sure.
yeah. Well, that was the
Um,
question going into that last fight for Whittaker because he got knocked down by a jab against DDP.
He did.
Sure, he was stepping into it, so the kind of momentum played a big part in it. And after that fight, I was thinking, is Whittaker's chin gone? He's getting on a bit. He's had some pretty some pretty rough fights where he's taken some pretty hard knockouts. But yeah, that fight against Paulo Costa really proved that
he's still there.
He's still there.
The guy is so clean with it. I think we might see. I think we're going to see Chimaev really struggle to get that takedown at the start. I think he might get him down, but if he can't get him down, I really don't see him winning on the feet.
No, neither.
We saw what happened against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is nowhere near a Robert Whittaker on the feet. The way Whittaker blitzes in,
he's got a very unorthodox style of striking.
he does.
Which really works to his advantage, especially in that Costa fight.
Oh yeah, I think it'll confuse Khamzat, and if Khamzat can't take him down, Whittaker's got great wrestling and great takedown defense. I think it's going to be a massive struggle. We haven't seen Khamzat go anywhere close to 5 rounds before, and I just don't think he's going to finish a guy like Whittaker early.
Yeah,
Whittaker's really been there, done that. He looked great in his last fight. So I think we're going to see Rob get this done. I think he could even finish Khamzat.
I agree with you. And where does Khamzat go after that? Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be a real question if his gas tank can survive, because everyone's now like, the guy has no gas tank. If he can prove that, yeah, I do have a gas tank. That was a bit of a one-off against Usman. I didn't really know the opponent, this and that. If he can prove that was all false and he wins, he goes straight to the title shot and his star power goes through the roof.
It is crazy that he is still unbeaten.
It is.
He has fought some pretty big
killers,
names.
man.
Yeah.
But it's always been, oh, this guy was too small. Oh, this guy was this. Oh, he didn't do this to this guy. There's always like question marks over his wins. And
yeah.
I really want to see him get it done. And if he does get it done, I want to see him get it done in devastating fashion. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Whittaker's going to win on the feet.
Yeah, I think if Khamzat's going to win, it's going to have to be a first round submission. Or first round ground and pound victory, something like that,
something
a
on the
TKO.
ground.
But yeah,
Takedown.
if Whittaker gets out of that first round, I just don't see any way that Khamzat finds a victory. Unless he comes in there in completely different shape, and he's in the shape
He's
to
a
go.
circle.
Yeah.
Instead of a triangle.
Yeah. What about Pavlovich and Volkov?
That's going to be a good fight. I think Volkov's getting on a bit, but he looked great in his last fight against Tuivasa. Obviously, Pavlovich is a different level striker to Tuivasa. Yeah. He hits so hard. If Volkov can get it out of the first round, I think we see him turn it around.
But can he get it out of the first round?
That's the thing. I don't think he's a much more technical striker, but
he's probably got a bit better distance management than some of the other heavyweights we've seen Pavlovich come up against.
I agree with that.
Pavlovich's last fight was against Aspinall.
It was
where he got
brutally
knocked out. But he did clip him.
He did. But are we going to see him more tentative now that he's been beaten by a knockout like that?
That's a good point. But I think if Pavlovich can find his way onto the inside of Volkov's range,
right,
then we're going to see him spark him out in the first round.
Early. Yeah. I agree. I think that's the most likely thing to happen. Volkov's going to very much struggle to keep him out of that range. Look, I like Volkov. He's a good guy, and I like his style. We saw Derek Lewis get in there eventually and knock him out, and that was in the third round. Mm-hmm. I think if Derek Lewis can do that to you, Pavlovich definitely can.
Yeah, I agree.
Will we see some wrestling mixed in there? Can we see Volkov's been wrestling quite a bit recently, getting submissions? Could we see a submission? You never know. You
don't. God, this has been fun to break down.
Yeah, this is much more fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like this is a proper fight.
Let's skim over the last couple because I want to go through it in detail when the fight night is about to happen. Gastelum fighting Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. Good fight here. Very excited for that one. I hope to see Gastelum get it done.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys are getting on a bit. Both of them have had a bit of a downfall in recent years.
Both of them kind of not really at that top echelon, you know.
But Gastelum, where he belongs now at welterweight, I think he's always belonged at that weight class. He just needed to work a little bit harder to get down there. Since he has made the drop to welterweight, he's had a bit of bad luck with injury and sickness.
Yeah, a few fights here and there.
So I think this fight is a good matchup for Gastelum. Not so much for D-Rod, but D-Rod has proven that he can go in there and get it done against the best when he shows up.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Walker versus Ozdemir.
This should be good. Ozdemir coming back after a bit of a time off. Johnny Walker, he's a super exciting, athletic fighter, but he's just not that good. And it keeps getting proven time and time again. His skill, his basics, his fundamentals aren't there. He can't jab. He's got a much higher reach than like 90% of the opponents. He can't throw a jab. The flying knee's great when it lands. Also, to me, I think we're going to see him pick him apart and get the decision victory here. When we see Walker win, it's against people who are kind of washed up and older and, just not that good. And he uses his athleticism to beat them.
And his chin's pretty
His chin
bad.
is suspect.
Yeah.
Not good. So
Highly
I think
suspect.
we're going to see Ozdemir get it done. Shara Magomedov, the Pirate, Shara Bullet versus Ihor Pretoria. Remember Pretoria last time he fought? He looked really good. We both didn't pick him.
Okay.
And he got the win.
Yep.
He looked really good. Whether he can do anything against Shara, I don't know. Both Russian cats. Shara's wrestling is very suspect, and we saw that against Bruno Silva last time when they fought. He got taken down pretty much at will. He did get back up a couple times, but he got taken down a lot. His wrestling defense is not good.
Right.
Saying that, I don't think Pretoria is the guy to take him down and hold him down. I think we're going to see him get it done, probably by decision, round 3, outstriking the guy. And I don't know about you.
Look, I'll save my in-depth analysis for when this fight is
all right. Sounds good.
around the corner in a couple of months.
Anyway, guys, I think we'll finish it up there.
Yeah?
Yeah. And unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about, first of all.
No?
No? Let's rate our drink.
What do you think?
I really like it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I think it's going to go quite
That's-
high
yeah.
on my list.
It doesn't taste like it's too bad for you. Like, it's like quite refreshing.
What kind of sugar they got in there?
4.5 grams.
That's bugger all.
Oh, wait. Per 100 mil? How
yeah,
many?
right.
320. So about close to 20 grams.
Which isn't
Too bad.
no.
Much better than the likes of the Warheads, 40 grams of sugar.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, I want to chuck it pretty high up. I want to put it above Iron Brew, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
That kind of range.
It's not quite a Nippy's coffee level
Not
beverage,
quite
is
Nippy's
it?
coffee.
But yeah, I could drink this over an Iron Brew.
Yeah. I'd probably, if they were both there, it would be a toss-up, but I think I'd go for this more times than I would the Iron Brew.
Yeah, I agree.
So this drink, Ribena, slots right in just above the Iron Brew, just under Nippy's coffee. Look, we've been Combat Corner. Glad to have you here, Jackson. Any final words for today?
Goodbye.
See you later. Remember to like, subscribe, check out our other content. We post a new video every Friday, new podcast every Thursday and Tuesday, and all the clips in between. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy. Happy Easter.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip, my friends.